Where do you see employees having difficulty in their jobs right now? And what are the
Hmm.
subjects you feel like are not your business, but it's
Right.
affecting their ability to do their job? Those are the elephants that need to be named.
Hmm.
And
Here's a
how to do that is a little bit more subtle, but that you do it is the beginning place to start.
Here's an example, Joseph, of a way that you can approach this. Is, I had a member of a team that this was years ago, and a young guy on the team, and he was depressed. There was no other way to say it. He was depressed, and I could see it, and I could tell that the other members of the team, he was good at his job. It wasn't a competence thing necessarily, but part of your competence, obviously, is how you show up at work. And so I watched that situation go for a while, and I thought, oh, maybe there's something going on. And then at some point, I just decided to say something. And I said to him, and I said, I don't know if you know this about yourself, but I don't know what's going on, but you tend to come to work. You energize kind of a heavy vibe. I think I said a kind of a heavy, kind of low energy vibe. Did you know that? And the look on his face was such a rich moment, because he was, at first he was a little bit embarrassed. He was like, oh, am I in trouble? And then he got, oh no, I'm not in trouble. And then he got, oh, I feel seen, because yeah, that is me. And then he opened up and he said, yeah, I'm having it's just a really rough time right now. And we didn't go into the content of what that was about, but here's what I said to him. I said, look, how you deal with that is your business. And it's not my role I'm not your counselor, I'm not your therapist, I'm not your advisor in that area of your life. But it is important to me how you show up, because it's affecting the team. And so I just want to name that. So I was naming the elephant moment in one way. But just that gave him the space to go, okay, it's okay for me to be depressed, because that's where I am in my life. It's not the end of the world. I'm a human being. I can still go to work, but my boss is helping me through this thing. Now, was I helping him through a professional challenge or a personal one? You decide, right? It's both, right? It's both. There's no distinction, but there's an orientation that says, okay, we're on this side of the line. I can't talk to you about what's going on between you and your girlfriend if that's part of it. That's not my role. That's not my expertise. That's not the agreement that we have. But I want to help you become a better professional. In order for you to be a better professional, better member of the team, you need to work on that so that it shows up at work differently. And that's the distinction that's really important that you're talking about. That's subtle, but it's really important.
And if you're thinking, wow, I don't know if I could navigate that subtle line between professional and personal so carefully like Jonathan just beautifully did, you may be right. Not today. But you can't use that as an excuse to not try anyway, because you'll do it messily. Maybe you'll be 20% too far on this side or 20% too far on that side. But the reward you get for trying is not as significant as the penalty that you get for not trying.
Nice.
That's what we're saying. Do it badly. It won't be as bad as you think, because it's a huge risk in that moment. Just to say, hey, do you realize you're depressed? And that it's, well, you didn't say that at first, but to say that you're really heavy, I wanted to highlight that moment, because I think that's, from when I talk to my clients, I know a lot of times they're quite fearful of those moments because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And that's it. And you can relate to that, I don't know what's going to happen, as I want to avoid situations where I don't know what's going to happen. Or you can relate to it like whitewater rafting. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Worst case scenario, you fall out of the boat. You'll probably be okay.
Right.
But it's more important to engage in than not engage in. That's what we're saying here.
Absolutely. And that, I think that can't be said enough. Before we move on to this next slide, even though we've sort of been talking about it in another way, is that you can be bad at it 1,000 times. That's fine. There really is no bad at it. But if you just remember the line, if you remember one thing, all you have to do when you get into that conversation, I was talking with another person the other day, and they said, well, how do you extricate yourself from if the conversation gets too personal. And it's really that simple. You just say, hey, you know what? I get that this is really important and there's a lot going on here, but this is actually outside the bounds of what we can do here at work in our mentoring relationship. But is there somebody in your life that you can talk to? Do you have a mentor? Do you have a coach? Do you have a counselor? Is there someone that you can go and talk to? And that is your business. That is absolutely your business to have that conversation with the people on your team because it's affecting their work. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to them to say something about it.
And maybe you went 5 minutes too far into their personal before you realize you say that. Big deal.
Right.
So you say it when you say it. And then next time you realize it 3 minutes in and so on.
Right. And you clean it up tomorrow. You say, hey, you know what? I just want to talk about the conversation we had yesterday. It probably got a little bit too personal. We probably shouldn't go that far into it next time. But and then again, you named the elephant, right? You went right back to that principle of naming the thing that you felt a little bit off about. Completely fine.